He didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep, RP, rest in peace, Biggie and Pop.
The day you put out a hits, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out, they got popped.
He didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a beat, did he? Rest in peace. Because the day you drop a diss track like that is the day Diddy admits he put out the hit that took Tupac down. Eminem and Diddy have always had a complicated relationship. It wasn't exactly friendship, but it wasn't full-on public beef either. Yet, if you listen close to what the streets say, there's a whole other layer, a secret fear Diddy has harbored for Eminem, even when Diddy was locked up behind bars. While Diddy's past is full of shadowy rumors, one name he's never dared to cross is Eminem. And that's not just because Eminem's a rap legend with insane lyrical skills. It's because Eminem's roots run deep in streets that don't forgive easily. From gang threats and Samoan muscle to standing toe-to-toe with the infamous Suge Knight, Eminem didn't just talk tough, he lived tough. And Diddy knew exactly who he was dealing with. If you've ever listened to the first track on the Shady 15 album, you know Em's a dangerous man to play with verbally and beyond. To understand why Diddy might have feared Eminem, even while serving time, you have to look beyond the public image. The bleach blonde trailer park, Slim Shady persona was just a mask. Behind was a man connected to a world few knew about, a world built on loyalty, street respect, and powerful, if often hidden, alliances. Step back to the early 2000s. Eminem was exploding onto the global music scene. Grammys, sold-out tours, millions of albums sold. He was the biggest rapper on the planet. Yet, despite all that fame, there was one thing keeping him grounded: an unwavering loyalty to a close-knit circle of friends and allies. This crew wasn't just the usual suspects like 50 Cent or Drive Dre. Insiders say Eminem had ties to certain street crews, most notably a Samoan gang based in Los Angeles. These weren't just any bodyguards or security. These were serious street fighters. Didn't these Samoan gangs do security for Eminem? Yeah, it started when Eminem was facing extortion threats from some Crips. According to Paul Rosenberg, Eminem was being pressured by some guys who wanted him to check in and acknowledge their control. That's when the Samoan connections stepped in. These groups have been known in South Central LA since the 1990s, often referred to as the Samoan Army. They're known for their strength, loyalty, and willingness to back their people no matter what. Eminem reaching out to them wasn't just about protection at concerts or events. It was about having a silent muscle backing him, a force most people wouldn't expect from a white rapper from Detroit. So, why would Diddy be scared of Eminem? Even while Diddy was behind bars, it's not just about Eminem's skills on the mic or his fame. It's about the street reputation Eminem built quietly but powerfully. Unlike many rappers who boast loudly about their connections, Eminem kept his alliances under wraps. But those familiar with the scene say Em isn't just a rapper. He's deeply involved with crews who command real respect and real fear. Take the infamous story of the Crips trying to force Eminem to check in, an acknowledgement of their control in his neighborhood. Eminem reportedly stood his ground, refusing to back down or submit. Whether every detail is exactly true or not, those close to the street say that moment was a turning point. It proved Eminem wasn't a man to be messed with. Where does Diddy fit in? Over the years, his name has been linked to rumors of violent behavior. Drive-bys on Suge Knight, armed home invasions, even explosions near rival homes. None of these have been fully proven in court. But the whispers alone build a reputation that's feared both on and off the stage. Industry sources say that while Diddy was behind bars, news about Eminem's fearlessness and the backing he commanded spread fast. The fear wasn't about Em's music. It was about the power and allies he represented, and the lengths he would go to protect himself and his crew. Eminem's close...
I ain't never made a call to Diddy, really? I got Diddy's number, just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
Because they like where my homies out west stay. Yeah, what we can just say, what? I'm like a rapper. R-E-R. Got so many days.
If you feel strong enough about something, then you might put a little before you say exactly.
Alliance with 50 Cent only added fuel to the fire. 50 Cent is known for his ruthless street approach. Together, their combined backing sent a clear message. Eminem was never alone, and anyone looking for conflict would face serious consequences. Fans might remember Eminem's cryptic diss and veiled warnings about Diddy in interviews and lyrics. Many believe these weren't just artistic expressions, but subtle threats. 50 Cent's public remarks about Diddy only fan speculation that this wasn't just music industry politics. It was something far deeper and more dangerous. There are conspiracy theories suggesting that attempts were made to silence Eminem and 50 Cent during their peak conflicts, though nothing has ever been proven. Still, all the signs point to a tense, shadowy showdown where music, street power, and personal rivalries collided in ways few outsiders understood. And at the center of it all, Eminem's rumored deep connection to the Samoan crews of Los Angeles, a group whose loyalty and muscle played a huge, if secret, role in shaping the power dynamics that kept Eminem untouchable. Many fans think Eminem just had regular bodyguards hired for his shows or events, but reports from people close to the streets tell a different story. Eminem's protection came from these Samoan gangs in LA, groups known for their toughness and fierce loyalty. If I'm not mistaken, they even helped Eminem in a situation where the Crips were shaking him down. They helped him and his manager out when things were heating up. These weren't just security guards in suits. They were street fighters, a quiet army that had Eminem's back. Why would Eminem, a rapper from Detroit, have connections to these LA gangs? Back when Eminem became famous in the late 90s and early 2000s, the hip-hop world was about more than music. Rivalries often spilled into real violence. Having strong protection wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. The Samoan gangs respected Eminem not just for his music, but for how he carried himself. He didn't brag or cause drama. He stayed low-key but stood firm when needed. These connections likely formed between 2001 and 2003, during Eminem's rise alongside artists like 50 Cent and Drive Dre, who also had street ties. The Samoan gangs weren't just hired help. They were a quiet force ensuring Eminem's safety. This gave Eminem a power most people didn't expect. It showed that if anyone tried to cause trouble, they'd be dealing with more than just a rapper. They'd be facing a group with real muscle and real respect. This power came to the fore in moments like when parts of Crips tried pressuring Eminem to check in. He refused, and having these alliances kept things from escalating. Why keep it quiet? Because Eminem's public image was different. The music world didn't want the gang ties mixed in, and talking about it could cause more problems. So these connections stayed mostly secret, known only to those who understood the streets. If you're still skeptical, consider this story that proves Eminem wasn't just a rapper, his showdown with Suge Knight. Back in 2003, during the filming of 50 Cent's in the Club video, Suge Knight showed up to intimidate the set. Eminem didn't back down. Tony Yeo later said Eminem showed up with around 20 Samoan goons. He was ready. No fear. This wasn't about ego. It was about protection, defending his crew. Even Suge Knight backed off. That moment showed Eminem was not to be messed with. Now, let's talk about that infamous diss track. During Eminem's feud with Machine Gun Kelly in 2018, he dropped Kill Shot, where he rapped. The day you put out a hit's the day, Diddy admits, he put the hit out that got Pac killed. That line shook the industry. It wasn't just a diss, it was a direct accusation. And what did Diddy do? Nothing. No response, no song, no interview. Just silence. For someone known for being loud and confident, that silence was deafening. Why? Maybe Diddy knew better than to start a war he couldn't win. By then, Eminem wasn't just a lyrical genius. He had serious street backing. He had nothing to fear. 50 Cent's loyalty was a major part of this. Their bond wasn't just about music. It was family. When 50 stood with Eminem, it sent a clear message. You mess with them, you deal with 50 and everything that comes with him. Fast forward to today. Diddy's name keeps coming up in court cases and legal troubles. Eminem hasn't been mentioned, but 50 Cent has been. Fans believe Eminem knows more than he lets on. His lyrics drop subtle hints, messages meant only for those who truly understand. Even now, with Diddy facing serious legal scrutiny, some say the fear he feels isn't just about the law. It's about the consequences of crossing the wrong people. Tony Yeo once said, Eminem didn't need security because he had respect. That respect didn't come from fans. It came from real power. Eminem never needed to boast. He let his actions speak. From Detroit to L.A., from Dr. Dre to the Samoan army, Eminem was never alone. And even behind bars, the fear he instilled in others didn't fade. Because when you walk with giants, people think twice before stepping out.